spent in a miserable way.
U.S. news jury to begin deliberations in trial of drug lord El Chapo. USA News Al Jazeera. After 200 hours of testimony over nearly 3 months, the Mexican drug lord faces the prospect of life behind bars. After nearly 3 months of testimony about a vast drug smuggling conspiracy steeped in violence, a jury is due to begin deliberations on Monday at the U.S. trial of the infamous drug lord Joaquin L. A federal judge in Brooklyn is set to give instructions to jurors in the morning before asking them to begin deciding the verdict for 61-year-old Guzman, who faces life in prison. Throughout the months-long trial, the jury has heard more than 200 hours of testimony about Guzman's rise to power as the head of the Sinaloa cartel. Prosecutors say the 11-week trial, which featured testimony from more than offered the public an unprecedented look into the inner workings of the cartel, named after the state in northwest Mexico where Guzman was born in a poor mountain village. Prosecutors said he trafficked tons of cocaine, heroin, cannabis and methamphetamine into the U.S. over more than 2 decades, consolidating his power in through murders and wars with rival cartels. The defense has argued that Chapo was set up as a fool. The most detailed evidence against Guzman came from more than a dozen former associates who struck deals to cooperate with U.S. prosecutors.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.